welcome back to another episode of Pivot with Purpose with me, your host always, Carla Ramirez. I'm back. Actually, it's been a crazy week, but I didn't promise. I just told you I was going to come back, and I'm here. I'm really excited about doing it. I've been using the excuse of like, I can't find a guest to come. Well, guess what? I work with someone every single day now that talks just as much as I do. So I have a really special guest today for the episode, and I'm excited about it to have him here. It's a him. Murders. Before we do start, I want to let you know that Launch Your Podcast in 30 days is open. Enrollment is ready to go. We're in Q4, right? And a lot of people be like, oh, I want to wait till the beginning of the year. It's my resolution to start a podcast. No. Here's why I tell you no. Start now. It's going to take you weeks to get comfortable on this microphone. It's not easy to get comfortable on a mic. And then by the time the first comes, you're already comfortable. You have a bunch of episodes and you can start pitching to get sponsors, right? Then, your goal should be, oh, how can I start monetizing it? Because I got more comfortable with it. I know what I'm doing. You've refined your craft. So go to ideatolaunchpodcast.com and you can sign up for the course. Launch your podcast in 30 days. I almost forgot the name of my own course. Jesus, Carla. All right. Well, to introduce my guest, I should have sound effects. I told you I have a radio show. So my radio show co-host is here.
Hey.
Welcome to my show. Oh, thanks for showing up. He tried to cancel on me this morning. I said, no, you can't. I wish you would. He said, but I don't care. I don't care what came up. I don't care. Somebody dead? Is it the hospital? No. Show up. We got to record this episode and put it out today.
I'm with it.
So we are the duo of the Fly Morning Wake Up and the new Fly 103.1 Orlando's hottest hit music.
I'll be your sound effects.
He is also a voiceover actor, an actor. He's been in radio for umpteen years. I do want to get a little bit of background on you because he's like 60 years older than me. And the reason I know this is because he's been in radio for a really long time. So being in front of the mic is not new to you. And I think I told you this before. When they finally told me who it would be, who the other voice would be, I said, I grew up listening to him. I used to go to school listening to you. And then all those years taking Ayana to school, I listened to you on the radio here in Orlando. So you're like a local celeb.
Thank you.
Oh, you're just a celeb.
Just regular folk.
How did you get in radio?
Actually, I fell into it. I never thought I was going to be in radio. Mm-hmm. Actually, quick story. A friend of mine won some tickets to a Latin night, Noche de San Juan, when they used to have it at Wet and Wild here.
Super Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So it was from XL, like a super white station here in town that was giving those tickets. I remember going with him to the radio station. And this is, I was in college. I was going to go to the Air Force. I had my mind already set to do that. Yeah. So I had to get an AA degree in order to go to flight school,
Gotcha.
So I was doing that. And then I went to that station with my buddy to get those tickets. And I seen through the window, I seen the guys doing their show. And I asked the receptionist, I was like, oh, that's cool, man. That looks cool.
Like what are they doing?
Yeah. What does it take to do that? And if that would have been my dream, she shot it down. She was like, oh, you got to go through those years of school for that and this and that. And then you got to be the intern and then this and that. And then, those guys have been doing it for 20. I was like, oh, wow.
And she worked for the station or she worked for Wet and Wild?
No, she worked for the station. That's the person that gave us the tickets. So then I left with my buddy. I was like, man, that's a hard job. That'd be pretty cool. And then just fast forward a couple years later, I was with a buddy of mine. We had a breakdance competition team.
Oh, I remember you told me you were a break dancer.
So yeah, we were going.
He dances just like me.
Yeah. So we were going to a place here in Orlando called Taboo or Beacham, a club, and then we were having a battle like Orlando versus Tampa versus Jacksonville versus Miami, and it so happened that the guys that started that 95.3, the radio station, they were getting shown around town because they were all from different parts of the United States.
What year was that?
99.
Okay, it was still in school.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So long story short, I met the night guy there, the night show guy. He stayed with us. He hung out, and then he kind of asked me if I wanted to be his sidekick on the radio. And he would teach me radio, and I would teach him about Orlando.
Okay.
And that's it. Just fast forward.
So you've been on air since 99.
Yeah.
Sheesh. He's been on air since the 1900s, y'all. I told you. Woof. He's old. No, but so I graduated in 2005. So yeah. I did. Because sometimes I think about it. Did I, grow up with you on the air, or was it Ayana? Because it's been a long time. But yeah, I did. So when I found out it was you,
both grew up with us on the air.
That's I know, awesome. Both of us. Wow. Ayana knew about y'all, and then she also two other people on the radio that she's been obsessed with since growing up was Ricky and Nasty.
Yeah.
So the fact that like I'm next to you now, and then we have Ricky and Nasty on the station as well for Ayana, that's a big deal. I'm looking for a picture of when Ayana met Nasty. They used to shout her out on the radio.
Well, having you there is a big deal too. Don't get that wrong. Like, you know, like they were selective with who they wanted to get in there. And you know, Ricky is the first one that came out and introduced the idea to Stevie the Man, which is the brains behind the radio station. Right. And when they told me about the idea, I was like, hey, I want to meet the person. But I was like, you know, I think I told you about this. I was like, I don't want you guys to tell her that it's me. I just want to meet her regular. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how some people are switch when you know somebody.
I probably wouldn't have switched, but I probably would have been more nervous. Because then I'm like, oh my gosh, little Sean, like now I really need to show him that I could do this. But when I didn't know what to expect, I didn't know who was, well, did I know it was going to be you? I think I did know it was going to be you. By the time I met him, the first time he did tell me, and I think I got past that, but I'm like, okay, it's all right, it's fine.
Yeah, but once we met, it was cool. And I was like, oh, she's good people.
Yeah, and I felt like it was like an older brother that's not a crackhead. You know, I have one that, you know, and my oldest brother, the crackhead, I've told you a million times, looks just like you. Awesome. Light eyes, like same height, like you look a lot like him. Again, without the crackhead part.
He's going to be fine.
Right. So I think we've both pivoted into our careers and one of those, like kind of in a whim, and we didn't know. And it just, it worked.
Yeah.
And it worked. So I love that about us. But this week, we're going to get into just some, we're going to give you a feel of what the Fly Morning Wake Up feels like a little bit. Because I don't usually talk about current events, but warning. This is the warning right here. Warning. You should never go into a grocery store hungry. Because what do? You buy everything. You just make really bad decisions for what you do. And you also shouldn't come into a podcast studio as a podcaster, sleep deprived, tired, and pissed off. Uh-oh. So whatever happens past this point.
This is your warning.
This is my warning sign. A lot of people might be on the line of fire, and I might be firing an AK-47 through this mouth.
Oh.
But let's start with this. I wanted to bring up like male perspectives on here because I'm like, we could do this instead of just like me talking to other women. So I saw on Cheddar that, you know, the whole Roe versus Wade got overturned. And we've always known about Roe versus Wade growing up because it's been around forever, at least forever for us, for our lifetime. And in Missouri, there is a Planned Parenthood clinic that is offering free vasectomies because of the surge of procedures. And they said that it's been a 53% increase in the past 100 days in vasectomies.
Wow.
Would you only have one baby?
Yeah.
And he's getting big now. He's 9, about to go into the double digits, huh?
Yeah.
You're about to have a teenager.
I missed the little guy, you know. I still try to pick him up. He weighs 115 pounds. This kid.
He's like, huge. Dad, relax. I'm a man. I mean, I've heard him talking to you in the mornings, and he's just like, all right, okay, fine, Dad. Talk to you later.
I try to pick as much as I can because I know pretty soon he's gonna be so big.
So big. Have you thought about getting a vasectomy before?
No.
Never?
No.
Have you had this might be have you ever had abortions?
No.
Never?
No.
Good job on handling your gun.
Yeah. No.
He does not shoot into anything.
No.
I can't say that for a lot of other people. That's how you could lie to me. That was a very personal question.
No lies.
No, because we got into a discussion today on live. I usually go live in the mornings at the station. And we'll talk about this later, but he was like, oh, something about the women. And I said, really? We can't really trap the man. Yes, we could lie about maybe being on birth control, but that means that you're putting the trust on me 100%. Right. And that stuff can go wrong. The man is the one that shoots. Right. So you can choose to shoot somewhere else or wrap it up, right?
But sometimes they prematurely shoot.
Ayana is a pre-cum baby.
Okay.
And I talk about it all the time. When I first started the sex talk, I said to her, in this whole pre-cum situation, they say that it's not true. But she's like, yeah, I heard it in sex ed class. And I said, well, breathe. And she was like, I said, take a deep breath. And she takes a deep breath. And I said, you're a pre-cum baby. It's real.
You're a pre-cum baby. I'll tell you, because I thought I swallowed you.
It was really, your daddy was a virgin and he fucked up. It was his first time. It was our first time.
Wow.
His first time. I thought it was girl, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna fuck you up. You're not supposed to be listening to this podcast. But I love the fact that they're offering these free vasectomies because they offer all these free birth control for women, and we have to put all this stuff into it when really you can just get like tied up. It's a procedure that's so quick.
Is it reversible?
There are some that are reversible. So Yeah, it is reversible,
All right,
but I
so-
think it's more. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it's like a percentage, it's a high percentage to be able to reverse it pretty quick.
Okay.
But I think also if you're a man that already has 2, 3 kids, and you're not really planning on having any, you're out here sleeping around, and so just get snipped.
Yeah.
Or if you're in
Yeah.
a relationship with someone and she's like, I'm kind of done. I don't want to be on birth control. You know how it takes such a toll on our bodies to have this stuff. So shout out to the Missouri clinic. They should do it more often. But I think really men of color are very hesitant to get their balls touched.
I think men of color, Latinos, and we're just hesitant period to go to doctors.
Yes. Do you go to the doctor often?
I don't.
Sean.
I go to the doctor when I have to, like if I have
COVID.
No, not even COVID.
You didn't go for COVID?
No, I had the at-home test and I already knew what to do at the house to stay away from people.
So when's the last time you went to the doctor?
For like stitches.
Man.
Yeah. Oh no, and then I heard this arm playing baseball. I got hit with a ball, so it cracked my bone. So
so you need a broken bone.
Things like that, yeah.
And that's not uncommon.
Right.
Like, y'all niggas, don't go to the doctor. And we're there like, well, most women, and we're not going to say all because I don't know any, but I know of women that just don't go to the doctor. They don't get their yearly check. They don't get STD tested. They get sick and they're just like, well, Robitussin and Mucinex. And I'm like, it's not going to save you, okay? Vitamin C emergency, it's cool, but you still need to go because then you end up, finding out that you have these cancers or whatever else, and it's too late by the time you find out. So if there's any men listening, which I know there are, think about getting a vasectomy if you can, or get more information about it. Maybe one day I'll bring over a penis doctor to talk about it, because whatever. All right. So I saw this video on social media, and it was from a TV show, and they were talking about if your man asks you to cut off your male friends, are you cutting them off? So they were asking women if your man tells you to cut them off, and I've been through this twice in my 6-year relationship. He asked me to cut off a really good male friend. And that one I said, no. I was like, it's not happening. No, that's my friend. You can hang out with him. And we ended up like hanging out with him more often. And funny enough, it's actually an ex of mine. But we were just friends. And I was like, just to make you feel comfortable, let's hang out. And I think they still talk to this day. My last relationship, he made it, in retrospect now, looking hindsight, he asked me, and I remember still the day in the conversation, he's like, I don't want you to be friends with him. And it was to the point where he was like, it's cool. You could be friends with him, but I'm up on a flight today and we're done. And I was like, okay, well, out of respect, I had to choose. I was put in an ultimatum. And at that point, I chose him. And I spoke to the guy and I'm like, you know what, out of respect. And as I was saying it, I didn't feel comfortable, but I did it, Yeah. And actually, if I say it now, I'd never really stop talking to him. I would stop for a couple of months, but that really is my friend. Like when I was going through
you don't have feelings for him anymore.
No, we don't. Okay. We're still great friends to this day.
Right.
We don't. There's no feelings there or anything like that. Like I said, he could come and hang out with my significant other. I have no, and it's not like I honestly, if I think about it right now, I haven't seen him in years. And we can still talk, and it's like we've seen each other the other day, right? We have that kind of friendship because we're really, really friends. Have you ever asked a woman to cut off a male friend?
I have, because as my ex, because at first, because I didn't understand. It's kind of insecurities with us guys and trust. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't trust this part of this. Can you change it? Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and one, I didn't get the option to meet the guy.
Oh, that's different.
That's different. But he supposedly lived in another state. You know what I'm saying? When we had fights, and then all of a sudden he was back in the picture, and like my neighbor told me about this kid because we had a fight and she was over there talking to my neighbor and she told my neighbor, oh, if I want I could just leave to whatever, and I have I was like, wait a second. That's too much information, especially to somebody that's not me, way more than I already knew.
Right.
And one night, she lived over by the beach side, like by Daytona. I lived here, and she came over and just hanging out and on the couch, and then I see a call from Buddy. And I'm like, answer it on speakerphone. So I'm like, I'm not going to say it. Just answer it on speakerphone and just act regular like you're at home. So she answers, hey. And she's already different. Hey, what's up? Like, it's not the regular. So he's like, hey, what's going on? Like, he picked up, like, it wasn't like, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you, talk to you forever. It's like, hey, so what's going on? Everything good with this? And I was like, oh, you've already kind of like been. And it was like 11 at night.
Oh,
And I'm
nah.
like, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm at my Omar's house and this. And he's like, oh, you're back with, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Back.
Yeah, that's what I was. So things like that. So I was like,
I think that's a totally different scenario though, right? Because you know that this person is not trustworthy in a way. But I feel like when you first meet someone, if this friend has already been there, you have to, whether it's you that you have a girlfriend or the girl that has a guy friend, you need to make sure it's said that, hey, I do have this friend and I would love for you to meet him. You have to become friends with the partner. Oh, yeah. You can't just be friends with me and you're someone of the opposite sex. Also, there's boundaries. Oh, yeah. You can't be calling me at 11 o'clock at night. Oh, that's booty call hour. That's the time that's supposed to be laid up with my man. And even if he's not here.
And supposedly he has a wife. And I was like, no. I said, no, I don't believe that. I said, I don't believe that at all.
The wife doesn't know about her.
Right.
The wife doesn't know about her. So I don't believe in having to cut anymore. I'll never do this again. Cut off on me. I don't have very many male friends, but I don't believe in having to cut them off. Like, I truly believe I would not be able to be doing this radio show with you without a pushback if I was still in my old relationship. Right. Oh, why is she texting you? He's sending me something for the damn show, you know? Or we work together, you know? Because it's always a double standard with that. But that usually comes from insecurities or something that you're doing yourself. But you for sure should tell your partner, you know, let's meet them so you can see what that looks like. And I shouldn't have a problem answering a phone call next to the person. Right. You don't have to be like, hey, I'm with so-so. Just talk. Because if it's a platonic relationship, there's nothing inappropriate being said. And as a woman also, you need to know the boundary that if you are going to a male friend and kind of dumping on them, that could be a boundary also you shouldn't do. Right. Because things
and as guys, that's what we think as well. Like if you have this friend or like, oh, now you have a fight with me or whatever, we have an argument, but now you're going to go and tell that person, you know, those people always hear the bad. They don't hear that, oh, look, this was good today. They're like, oh,
you have
girl,
to
you're
have
not
a
going to
balance
believe
with
what
that.
he just did this time.
Yeah, so. You definitely have to. But it's also nice to have male friends that you can at least hit up every once in a while to get a male's perspective. Because a lot of times we can go to our girlfriends and our girlfriends are going to side with us or whatever. But a man, although he's your friend, he can say, because this friend of mine, I couldn't tell you how many times I would be so upset going through a really dark time. He's like, well, you know, probably shouldn't have approached it like that. Right, or maybe, you know, for us, it's a little bit different. He was very like,
straight up.
He straight up and would tell me like, hey, I know you and I know what it's like dealing with you. And but then there were other times that he's like, I know you and I've dealt with you and that's not right. Right. He was able to tell me you shouldn't be going through that. That shouldn't be said to you. That, you know, so it's good having friends of the opposite sex. It's just knowing how far to take it
and have them know your person if you are gonna. So that way, I don't care. I'm not that type of person. You can have friends. You're gonna have friends. Hey, you can only stick to girlfriends and that's it. You know, like no, you're gonna have guy friends. I'm okay with that, but when it's hiding, when it's kind of like they only come around at certain times when you're not around, like nah, that's weird.
It's inappropriate, and it's a little goes into like those toxic relationships. And speaking of toxic, there's Tory Lanez. I don't really like talking about him because allegedly he shot up my dog, Meg.
And the pinky toe.
Right.
Like Harlem Nights.
Right. Actually, I just learned about Harlem Nights not too long ago. I'm not every time we talk about movies, I'm like, I don't know any movies.
I gotta put you on. I gotta give you a list.
But I have seen Harlem. I did end up seeing Harlem Nights during the lockdown. That he tweeted saying, some girls will truly make you feel like they'll kill themselves if you break up with them. I'm here to tell y'all fellas, she won't. She'll get over it. Save yourself, king. And I bring this up because I recently went through a conversation with a friend who's dealing with a woman who keeps saying she's going to kill herself, or she gets really sick when he tries to break up with them. And it's a form of manipulation. Yeah. It's a huge form of manipulation. There are some people that truly are sick, you know, and have these depressive moments, but we shouldn't hold ourselves accountable for someone else's actions. One thing you should never say to a person like that as well, go ahead and kill yourself. You know, right? Go ahead, because that's gonna not that you're telling you made them do it, but still you shouldn't do that. But you can very easily be like, you know what, that's beyond me. Right. Call their parent or a sibling or a friend, be like, hey, she's threatening to do this, but I have to remove myself from the situation. Has it happened to me? Yeah. One said he was gonna drive into a brick wall. Never did. Clearly walking around perfectly fine. And another one, two of them have claimed to kill themselves. They're kicking, breathing, don't know what they're doing. Has anybody done it with you? To kill himself?
Oh, yeah.
He was laying it down, y'all. The girl was about to kill herself.
Yeah, no, they do
one
that.
or more than one?
One.
One?
Yeah.
Do you feed into it? How does it make you, as a man, how does that make you feel? Because as a woman, I remember being like, come on.
Right. Like
I feel like getting it from a woman, I think men feel more responsible.
Right. Because you don't want to hang up the phone there or say the wrong thing, and then they do it. Now you feel responsible, for somebody's life. Try to talk. Well, one, call them selfish for putting that on you. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you could put on someone else, because that's selfish as hell. Like, you don't tell somebody that, and put it on me. You're putting that on me as it's my fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, one, if you know this, let's stop it. Let's just kill it right there. Let's just kill the argument. You know what I mean? Not you, the argument. And let's work out, where we can meet in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And just get rid of that toxic thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, get them out of that thinking. Like,
but what if it's like during a breakup?
It's like, always been during a breakup. It's never been like that. I don't have a relationship like during a regular relationship. It's like, oh no, that's the breakup. That's when it gets like that.
Oh, yeah. So, do you go back or do you stay longer because of the threat?
I don't think you go back, right? Like, if you go back, it's not because of the threat. It's, you may, that may calm you down as, okay, make you think, okay, it kind of like kicks you to the side. All right, let me think this way. Maybe you start thinking, even though you may think you're right, sometimes you start thinking, damn, am I being that violent? Or am I being that, how can I be a little less?
So they manipulated you into thinking that something, it was that you did for you to stay with them.
I think of how can I get my point across, but softer.
Right.
Maybe
you're doing too much.
Right. Because in my head, I'm like, they take you there. They start, talk, and then they take you there. And then you try to meet them. I don't try not to yell. I bottle everything in. Ooh. I bottle everything in until something keeps being said and I keep being disrespected and, keep getting cussed at and shit. And then the fuck you comes out of me. And you know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, I can't believe you said that. I was like, well, you said 8,000 things before my one thing. But then it turns into that argument.
It turns into a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are like super, super toxic relationships. And I'm in my mid 30s now. He's in his 70s. So we've had a lot of, experience at this point in time. And this show I have very few people that are under 30 listening, right? So I'm talking specifically to you where we're in our 30s, we're in our 40s. There is no reason for us to feel like I'm going to kill myself over someone not wanting to be with me.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay. Like, if I didn't feel like I wanted to kill myself over this last relationship, I knew that I had grown with how nasty I was being treated, how I got discarded. Because literally part of the process of dealing with someone with narcissism is they discard you. Like, literally the same when you grab your garbage from the kitchen. One day it's like they're cooking and then they're grabbing the garbage and throwing it away. And you're like, what is going on? What just happened? Like, how did that happen? And then they'll be like, oh, we'll pick up the garbage back again, discard them again. Like, no, you literally get discarded and you don't know what to do. But coming into that, I took off work yesterday. I've been dealing with baby Psalm. He's been sick. And, babies get sick. He's in daycare. I haven't slept in what feels like a week and a half. Wow. I've been...
Crash this weekend.
I hope so, but I don't know. My anxiety's been over the roof, which gets worse when you're not eating, when you're not drinking, when you're not sleeping. So yesterday at 4 something, I texted our program director. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't come in. I got to take him back to the hospital. He had been to this weekend. He has to go back to the hospital. And this is not just for single moms, but mostly single parents, because I think it goes both ways. I've been so angry. I've been pissed for the past week because although I'm doing this alone, when you're going through something like this, and I won't even touch on finances and helping with finances, bro, men trap women the same way that women have trapped men. It's a fucking thing. Like, it really is. It happens. And you're probably wondering, why would they do that? How can they even do that? It's very easy. Once you get a woman pregnant, we are now 40 weeks out of commission. Now we're at home. When they say barefoot and pregnant, like at home, that's a thing. Our feet are this big.
Yeah.
Our backs hurt. We're tired. So if a man wants to keep you home and wants you to himself because they're selfish, the easiest thing to do is to get you pregnant. If they want you away from people, away from society, get you pregnant. If they want what you have and they want get you pregnant is the easiest way to do it. So I have come to the realization that I feel like that's what happened to me. I was almost out. I had a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
That girl was one more year. She had a car. Drive. I could have been hoeing in Italy. I could have been sucking a couple in Europe, okay? Flying all over the place. Now, keep in mind, everything happens for a reason, because if I didn't have my son, and I want to differentiate the fact that although I'm angry, we still love our kids, right? It's okay for you as a mom to be like, fuck them kids today. I am fucking pissed. Like, fuck them kids. I still love them, but I'm talking as a woman. So the baby's in the hospital. I don't get any help. My baby daddy has only seen the son once since I left in February. Wow. One time for 2-3 hours, I believe it was. So I got angry because one thing was said to me. It's like, don't play in my phone. Don't play. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm stressed. My adrenaline's up and down when I see my son's eyes roll to the back of his head. And for you to be on my phone, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I tell you, hey, I am tired. I just need a fucking nap. I need you to just hold the kid, give him his medicine, and be here for a couple of while I can take a nap. For you to tell me, damn, bad timing, go ahead and hire somebody. You were my last resort, because clearly you're not dependable. You were my last resort. So I didn't even go into detail on my social media, and I talked about how tired I was and how it's just not fair. It's not fair that we're allowing, and I got so many messages from so many women that are tired. They're like, yo, we have to do this. Why is it the fucking norm? Why is it the norm for not just us, but I think it's predominantly women, because we are the nurturers. It's easier for a man to walk away than it is for a woman. We have the baby's firstborn. They have to stick them to us. We're there. We're the ones going through the changes, maybe breastfeeding, whatever else. The man usually works and they just do what they do. So I'm speaking to it from a woman's perspective. I took some screenshots because let me see where it is. Nope, that's not it. I'm looking for it. Here we go. So somebody, I won't even say their names because I don't want to like put their stuff. She responded, my current struggle, it's a lot to be the only one doing everything. And I've never been comfortable asking for help or anything like that because I've always feel like it's burdensome. It feels that way. As a woman, it feels like a burden sometimes, even asking your baby daddy to watch the kid because they're just not available. Or I had another one where says, hey, I know you don't know me, but I've been following you and I admire you so much. The things you go through, to see that you keep pushing is just everything. I'm currently going through something and I just watch your stories and it helps me a lot. I screenshot that one because I get I get some like flashback from people. Why are you telling your story? Keep your business to yourself. Because of people like this.
It's going to happen.
Because of people like this, because there's been thousands and thousands and thousands of views and so many messages that I get on a regular basis of women saying, because of your story, I was able to do this. Because of your story, I felt stronger. Because of your story, I felt that I could. And that doesn't mean that I'm any better than anybody else. That doesn't mean that I have a big mouth. And I'm okay with who I am. I'm not ashamed of what I've been through. So I don't mind it. But the point that I bring you here is like these deadbeat fathers. How dare you say it's an inconvenience or bad timing? And I brought this up with you because I hear you talk to your son on an everyday basis. And again, I've only been working with you now for like 2 months. So it's not like I know him from, whoa. I don't know. His son is also 9. It's been 9 years. I don't want to bring it to that. But I see you talking to the mother of your son. I see you going to baseball games. I see you coaching. Do you have any friends? Because I feel like the problem here is that men don't hold men accountable.
Right.
If you know somebody is a deadbeat, as a man, how do you hold them accountable?
As if I had a friend?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
have you ever been in that situation?
Not really. Like, I guess my circle that I surround myself with, like, I guess we learn from each other. And,
yes.
We've all been friends since high school, you know what I'm saying? So we all kind of grew up kind of like the same way.
Right.
A lot of us have single moms who were, doing everything. My mom was a single mom with three boys.
Wow.
We went from Puerto Rico to New York to Florida. But, she was, a single mom and all that. My dad came with us. My dad was an alcoholic, and all that. So I get the way I am because of my mom. You know, one, I respect because I know what she went through, you know, and then two, I want my son to always know I'm there, you know, like regardless. Like, my dad was there, but he wasn't. I can't remember a conversation like with my dad or like or anything big. You know, I remember going to like El Rio and stuff like that in Puerto Rico, going fishing in New York. And I remember he took us to one baseball game. But I don't want that for my son.
He didn't shape you as a man.
Right. But he had his own struggles going on.
Right,
So
right,
I kind of, I kind of like had to realize that as a kid. But with my son, I don't want him to see none of that. I want to be there as much as I can, but I don't want to suffocate him either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I want him to know, I'm there. But with friends who are not, sometimes I can't, it's hard. You can't step in because one, you don't know the situation with the girl. And sometimes I have friends who they say they're deadbeats, but then there's the woman who doesn't let them see the kids.
Right.
And then they call them a deadbeat, but then here they are on my side. They're like, bro, she's calling me this and that. Look, but she don't let me go over there. She don't let me see the kid or she whatever.
And I think that comes with close friendships. I'm not talking about y'all writing for your favorite podcasters or celebrities or artists and rappers. I'm talking about friends, the ones that you can go to their house and eat something, the one that you might go on a trip with, the one that calls you on the phone, hey, what's up? I'm going, the one that might want to do business with you and make money with you. Do you really know what kind of a father he is? Because I can say all day that I got a deadbeat baby daddy, right? The same way that a man can see all day and be like, yeah, it's my baby mom that don't let me see my baby. Really? Right. I'm not going to write for no artist and be like, oh my God, the baby moms don't let them see the baby. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. But at the end of the day, there's no way in hell I'm going to have a friend that is going to tell me, yeah, no, fuck him. I'm not going to let him see him because he didn't pay me child support. Money has nothing to do with it. Your child, the time you spend with your child is so much more important than any dollar. And I've always said this. So the fact that I even got into this predicament, to me, I'm like, how did I get here? There was, because I've talked about this over and over. I dealt with it with my daughter's dad and we were young. So, it's not an excuse that we were young because he could have done better, but I already went through it once. So I was very vocal about the fact that I don't want to be a single mom. And to me, money is, I got the money. I got it. Be there. Show up. And you can't show up. And then you're trying to tell me, oh, I'm trying to get on my feet. Well, bitch, you a mermaid? Right. Are you a fucking mermaid? Did you still not got feet? What you doing? On your feet. I'm trying to get on my feet. You know what I mean? I sit here and I now walk on my knees if I have to. I'll crawl on my hands and do whatever I have to do. But my children have to know that I'm there.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm going to tell them? Oh, I was trying to get on my feet. No. Well, while you're trying to get on your feet, your son has to eat. While you're trying to get on your feet, your son is outgrowing their clothes. While you're trying to get on your feet, yo, your son is sick in a hospital. You're trying to tell me, oh, yeah, I got the same bug because I've been traveling sick.
No, and show that to your kids. Show them that you went from there and got on your feet and show them how you did it. So they can see the strength and they can see like Mama, same way. Like when she came to New York, she didn't know English. She didn't even graduate high school in Puerto Rico. I'm the first one in my family to graduate high school, go to college. Even my big brother dropped out like 11th grade. And later on, he lost his life on the streets. But so my mom went to New York. She could put herself through school, went to ESOL, through ESOL for adults to learn English. And then she put herself through community college. And then she got her degree. And then she's been a teacher now for over 30 years.
Wow. So
seeing that inspired me to be like, yo, you ain't got no excuse. I'll be in school and sometimes I'll be lazy. And, like, I think to myself, oh, nobody else, graduate. But I'm like, ain't going to be me. No. I'm graduating. I'm not going to be that dude.
One thing I do know is your kids are always watching. Ayana, as much as I want to choke her half the time, just teenage stage, she's watching. And one of the reasons that I've said this before here, I couldn't stay, in an abusive relationship or whatever else because she's watching. And I can't let her think that that's okay. So even if I haven't had a successful marriage, or even if my 6-year relationship didn't work, or even if this past 3-year relationship didn't work, I cannot tell her, oh, just because you're in it, stay in it. No, right. We as women have to have our own shit also. We don't just come to the table and be like, well, what's the man gonna bring? Just take care of me. And we talked about this off, because we can't really have these conversations on air. But you were saying how some women just pop up and they're like, just take care of me.
Yeah, they just Like I seen a video of the guy went on a date and he had, he was like, yo, check this out. He went on a date with her again just to get it on video. And she was saying she was like, how much you make? That was the first conversation. How much you make? And I was like, she wanted to know how much he made and what his plans were. If he his 5-year plan, that's okay conversation. But you don't go off the rip asking somebody what they make. You know what I mean? It's like,
I want to kind of know what I wouldn't ask you what you make. I would be like, what do you do? What are your
Right.
goals?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going with like that? So those are questions that I would ask. But regardless of how much you make or how much anybody makes, it's 2022. And I said this today earlier. One income is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to tell me, oh, you need to stay home and take care of the kids, but can you really take care of me? No, you can't. Because if I would have stopped working, if I would have stopped my business, it would have been a fucking problem. But then again, I get backlash saying, oh, you should have known. You should have known who you were getting with. I didn't, me specifically, Carla, I didn't go off of, things that a person said. Oh, he promised me. I didn't go off of promises. We're always told it's not the words, it's the actions. So I waited for those actions. This is a person that flew into a hurricane to, back in 2019 to make sure that my house was good. I had whatever flashlights and, everything was safe, regardless whether he missed work, showed up,
right.
Every weekend flew in. Every weekend flew in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for you, the actions were there. Right. The affection was there. The going to therapy was there. The speaking to the family and being, supportive of my business, buying me equipment, being my number one fan. So then when you get me pregnant, be like, stop working. Mm-hmm. I don't want you working. I don't want you out with friends.
Right.
Like, and then they're like, oh, you know who you got with? No. That's not who I got with, because I waited for actions to be proven before I took the leap of giving you a child that you fucking begged for. And now it's like, I gotta get on my feet again. Okay, mermaid.
Yeah.
See, you got no feet. All right, Ariel.
I got the other side of that. So during the pandemic, my ex lost her job and all that stuff. And then, I was doing life insurance and all that. So I got her involved with life insurance. I was like, there's money in this. Get involved with it and all that. So she got her, she went through the, the schooling and everything and went and passed her test on the first try as well.
Dope.
And for Christmas, I was like, she's going to need all shit. I got her laptop and this and that and all that stuff. I was like, she's going to need all that to work.
Your son's mom or the
No,
girl?
no, the ex. No, me and my son's mom haven't been together since he was like 3.
Oh, okay.
4 years old. He's 9 now. But we co-parent so well, people think we're still together.
No, yeah, you guys, I don't know, like, I'm sure there was probably some, working it out, but you guys do co-parent pretty well. Like, I hear y'all's conversations and I'm like, that's what healthy co-parent looks like. Hey, I'm sick. Can you come get him? Or, hey, my mom is here. Can you get him from here? That's what it's supposed to be. I don't have to want to be with you anymore. Mm-hmm. We don't have to talk about, I don't care that you're sick.
Right.
Or that you also got a bug. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Are you going to come or no? No? Perfect. Bye. Keep it moving. Like, I don't care. That's not what our conversation should be about. But that also shows the maturity level of people. And for women, I don't want you to feel like you're doing anything wrong, because you're not. Right. You're not. Some people really are out here deceiving you.
Yes.
And they really do. They do you dirty. How much time we got? What are we at? Okay, perfect. So you did it. You said something they did with your ex. Oh, you got her. You make sure she could work and got her. And one thing. That's what I want to say about how you pivoted.
Yes.
You basically got let go with a bunch of people from radio.
Yes.
Which is another reason why I was like, I know I'm not going crazy, because I try to give a lot of grace and empathy. I get it. You might not be working. You might not have money. I'll work with you, right?
No, and I wasn't working then.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You, when you lost your job, as a man said, well, let me find other ways to make money. And you still took care of your child support, whether you could or not. You made it work. Mm-hmm. And you found something else to do.
Oh, yeah. And I could have left town and looked for another job in another state, another city, doing the radio. I'd rather bag groceries and be with my son and then go somewhere else and be radio guy.
And that's the difference between a sperm donor and a father. Yeah. The fact that you don't just up and leave to a whole different state where your kids aren't there to do what? Mm-hmm. Nothing. To do absolutely nothing, when you can literally build a life in the vicinity of your children so you can be a father.
Well, and granted, for some people who move for a better opportunity, that's different. That they're chasing, it. So that's awesome.
But some people are just chasing nothing. Right. A black hole.
Right.
And it's like, I'm chasing. Well, you're not tired yet? You've been chasing for a long time, and it seems like there's nothing there to chase. Mm-hmm. Never gonna happen. Like, we also have to be like, yeah, there might be a chase, but how long are you going to be chasing for? Because your children, every day that you're chasing, your children keep getting older and wiser, and they still have needs while you're chasing. So maybe while you are chasing, you need to say, I need to make time for my kids. It's just, I'm tired. I'm tired of doing it on my own. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying all of this because it's one of those moments where I'm just like, fuck you. Like just a big screw you. You're doing me dirty. You're doing your kids dirty. But at the same time, you know, when I break down when I'm in the shower. I have a quick cry, keep it moving, you know? You break down in the car a little bit and it's just like, oh, hopefully my mascara didn't go all over the place. Keep it moving because my kids can't see me crying. I just can't afford it. I can't afford to say I'm trying to get on my feet. And I can't afford to see my children see me break down.
Yeah.
But that's something that you did do. So whenever my mind and my empathy wants to be like, okay, maybe they're struggling. I think of not just you, my cousin, yourself, Laura. There's so many men that I do know of that have stepped up and done what they have to do in order to still take care of their kids and not sit there and make it a complaint. And I much rather someone spend time with their kid than give me money. And this is something that I've said before. So I know I have a lot of new listeners and they're probably like, oh my gosh, she tells everything. I've been telling everything since 2017. I talked about my first baby daddy. I've talked about my mama. I've talked about my jobs. I've talked about my ex. You, good or bad.
Right.
When
somebody
that's what
it's all about, right?
When I'm very transparent. If you come into my life, when I first meet you, it's like, yo, my life is kind of public. You know, I share my experiences for a reason. But I thank you for being that kind of father, you know. Right. Again, I'm not in your whole life. I don't know what your struggles are or with her, with your son. But from what I've seen, I want to commend you as a man for what you're doing because I see it. I might be like in La La Land half the time when we're working, but I hear and I'm like, man, fathers like that do exist. And I just happen to find.
And we got a limited amount of time with them, you know, like a lot of parents, and I say parents because it goes both ways sometimes. It goes both
ways, absolutely.
They think, oh, they're little, I could go do this, whatever, this and that. But no, I mean, if you neglect that time when they turn a certain age and then now you have time, now they give you what you gave them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now because they think, oh, this is how I learned. So when you're older and you're like, hey, come over, I want to see you for the game, son. Nah, I gotta go to the mall. We're going to the beach. We're going to that's the type of kid you're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? Like put you in the nursing home type of kid.
And you're gonna end up alone. We have our, you know, us as parents, we have our kids for when we get old to take care of us. If you're an asshole of a parent, mother or father, we're not gonna be there. I can tell you right now, as of today, you can love someone, and I got a lot of backlash for this because my editor made the clip when I said, I still love him. I can love someone and still want absolutely nothing to do with them.
Right.
They're not mutually exclusive. If you don't know what that means, Google it. You both things can coexist.
Yeah.
So I can say that I have love for my mother, but I see her as nothing as a womb donor. You know, that woman has not mothered me, nurtured me. And if the last days come, I will not be the one wiping her ass. I don't owe you that. You know what I mean? And then again, I also think of myself and I'm like, I know me. And if someone comes and apologizes and tries to mend things, I will depending on the situation.
Right.
I'm the one that usually bends because of the person that I am. But tomorrow, oh baby, that diaper's going to stay shitty. Like it is. I kid you not, poopies is going to come out the sides. If you even get a diaper on. Like, it's not going to be me. But that's the whole point. Be a good person so when you're in need of something, they could be there. You trying to tell me you're trying to get on your feet. I could have probably helped you if you weren't such a fucking dickhead.
Or just be a good person so they can see that and reciprocate it and be a good person themselves.
It's just,
period.
What good people are. We're going to go into your letters. But before we do, I have an announcement to make. Tulum is booked, y'all. Ladies, not fellas. Ladies, Tulum is booked. Mexico, we're going for the Synergy Wellness Retreat. We did it in 2020. We sold out in 48 hours. We're going to be opening up next week for enrollment. Like, you can buy your spot. We only have 16 spots. Right now, we have 47 women on the wait list. I am banking on this selling. It's going to be a great time. We're going from Thursday to Sunday. Boat parties, journaling workshops. I'm not telling you that this is going to be like a holy ground yourself type of retreat, but it's definitely one where you can escape, your day-to-day and just spend time with your girlfriends. It's a Valentine's Day edition. It's right before Valentine's Day. It's just us women coming together and maybe single mamas saying, you know what? Someone understands the struggle I'm going through, or I just needed a fucking break from these kids. Just they're pissing me off today. And that's okay. We need a break. And I don't think we give ourselves grace to do that a lot of times. So that's what Synergy Wellness is. Everything's included, except I believe one meal, because we're going out into the town. So that one's on you. But everything else is included. Just get on the wait list. It's going to be in the description of the episode, and you'll be able, I'm going to give 48 hours to the women on the wait list to book first. So once it opens up for booking, the wait list will get it 48 hours prior, and then I'll open it up to the public. So get ready to go to Tulum, Mexico. We're going out the country this year, baby. Okay. So we talk about these. I'm going to give my advice during, Ask Carla. And before I do, I'm not a therapist, right? I give advice from my own experiences. I do a lot of therapy, but I am not a therapist. I am not licensed, but you can try BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a place where they can assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist, not me, a licensed one. I know this helps. You can get someone within 24 hours. It's not a crisis line. You literally get someone on a weekly basis. You can text them. You can call them. You can video chat with them. They answer right away. There's over 500,000 people that have joined BetterHelp. And if you want to join as well, that's actually where I do my therapy. Right now, my old therapist is not longer with BetterHelp, so I have to get a new one. And that's always like heartbreaking. That can happen at any point in time, right? Mm-hmm. Your therapist just kind of like goes somewhere else. Go to betterhelp.com/PWP. So betterhelp.com PWP. You're going to get 10% off your first month. And they do have financial help. So if you need financial aid or financial help, they will do so. Like, I know people that have gotten it for a super low price because like, look, I ain't got it. And they're like, well, we're going to help you regardless. And even I know some people that have them like, I can't afford it or I can't do it. They're like, don't worry. We'll pause it, or here, just go ahead and go to the thing anyway. They really work with you. That's awesome. Because they care. So betterhelp.com/PWP. And if you have a question or a letter, send it to askcarlawilmaris@gmail.com. That's askcarlawilmaris@gmail.com. Let's do this. I'm an expert at this. You got to help. Thanks. So this one says, Carla, I need your help. I cannot tell anyone about this, and I don't know what the fuck to do. This was juicy, by the way. All right. It's actually a guy, I believe. It says, I had my suspicions that my mom was cheating on my dad, and I just recently confirmed it. She started losing a lot of weight, getting more skinny, and changing up her hairstyle and staying out later than usual. She was never the type of person that stayed out super late. Once it hits 10, 11, she comes home, but she's been coming back at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And she thinks I don't know that she sneaks out, but I do. Anyway, I was looking up advice online and what I should do, and all the responses were saying things like, parents are human too, blah, 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 tell your dad, but get prepared for a divorce. He goes, okay, this is when shit gets weird and I'm torn. The only reason I haven't told my dad or confronted my mother is because she's cheating on my dad with my uncle. My dad's brother. He loves his brothers. And just when he's finally okay and finding peace, this happens. I just don't know what to do. I still live at home with my younger sibling, and I don't want him going through this.
Oh,
what should he do?
You should tell us that. That's his brother. If it was like, I don't know. I listen. If that was going on, my son came into, I'd be like, listen, thank you, son.
But then you have a younger sibling that's about to find out, and this whole drama is gonna like fuck with your sibling as well. Do you tell your dad right away? I thought about this. I did because I read it beforehand, and I was like, I had to think about it. I was like, maybe go to your mom first and say, hey, Mom, I know this is happening. And maybe your mom might tell you, hey, son, your dad knows he got erectile dysfunction and your uncle's sticking me down. You never know what the situation could be.
He's okay with it. He's okay with it.
He's like, keep it in the family. Right. So at least he felt like it made sense. You just don't know. Maybe your father knows. And you don't know that he knows.
And he doesn't want to get divorced. He wants to keep the family together.
So it's either mind your business and stop watching your mom sneak out. Maybe you should sneak out yourself. Or talk to your mom first and then maybe give your mom an ultimatum. Hey, Ma, like, you need to talk to dad. Because if you really want your dad to know.
Bump up the allowance. Or you tell the dad.
Right. Yeah, shit, your uncle. Woo, that means if you, hopefully she's not like childbearing age. Because that would be weird if she gets pregnant. Gosh. At least the kids would look alike. They'll have like the same DNA.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
he can't neglect. He can't say it's not his. She can
Yeah,
still lie,
the
but like
DNA
it's yours.
The DNA will say you're 89% the father, just
Oh
not
my
99.
gosh.
Ouch. Ooh.
But you know he won't have that test. When you trust your wife or your girl, whatever, you know they ask you, would you like a test? They asked me that when I had my baby. Yeah, they asked you.
Really?
Yeah,
They didn't ask me.
Yeah, they asked the dad. I don't know if they
he was
they
there.
took you away, but I was like, no, there's no need.
No,
like I'm good.
Yeah, no, we didn't get a DNA test. I wish he would, especially since we got pregnant during quarantine. Who? Yang. Who was gonna get me pregnant? There's nobody around. It's ghost town. Yeah. So that would be my advice. If you're really pressed about it and it's really bothering you, speak to your mom first. See what she says. It might be something that you don't know about. You might find out some things that you really don't want to know. And give her ultimatum, or just kind of mind your business and let it happen. If your dad seems happy and at peace, maybe all of this is working out for the best. Who knows? Or
your dad accidentally find out somehow.
Yeah, he might. He could.
You may have to wake him up because you thought there was a burglar one night that she's out. It's like, sorry, Dad, I thought I heard noises in the back. Where's Mom?
like
she's not here yet.
She's not here. Oh God.
Does she have location services? See where she's at.
But see, again, I think that if you were to do that, you might expose something that you weren't ready to expose.
Right.
But if you're ready for it, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really, we would say it's fucked up, but again, we just never know what people's situations are.
It usually is like who they like more. They get along with the dad more or the mom more. So they
usually go
who they side that
with.
Way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kids usually do side with someone. This one is another one. It says, Carla, in my opinion, what makes this important to me is the fact that you speak from experience. Okay, whatever. Thank you. Appreciate you. It says, I'm doing everything. Please help save my marriage. No pressure.
Okay.
For you. Help save the marriage. I know he said Carla, but Sean too. It says, I'm at such a loss about what to do. My husband and I are in a rough patch and have been for a few months. We're in couples therapy, which is somewhat helpful, but between sessions, I just feel so hopeless. Listing out our issues will take a while, but in the beginning to be everything. I didn't reread this. Hold on. Y'all need to reread your letters. In the beginning, everything about him that drives me nuts. Okay. He's a half-assed father, pays attention to me when it's convenient for him, plays hours of Xbox while working, which I find unattractive, and is on phone nonstop. Complains about general adult things, and he's convinced himself he's an equal partner, which he's not. He breathes, and you're annoyed. That man breathes, and you're over it. She says, my individual therapist says he's comfortable and won't make changes without a quote-unquote big event. Like I threatened divorce a few months ago, which led to couples counseling and a little more effort on his part. But I shouldn't have to keep begging, nagging, and wanting to leave to be treated well. I don't want to get divorced. I'm pregnant with our second. And despite all of his bad qualities, I'm so emotionally attached to him and love him dearly. What are things that I can do to make him less comfortable so he continues to step it up and not take me for granted? I'll let you go first because I got a mouthful. You talked about my experiences, girl.
One, be honest. One, and tell him exactly how you feel instead of just hinting and wondering and hoping that he does something that you want him to do. Be open. Be like, hey, if she's pregnant with the second child, maybe, okay, hey, we met. This was going on. We're dolling out. We gotta do something to spice things up. Maybe we could, switch. I don't like that you do this all the time. Maybe, don't exit out, but maybe do it less. Or maybe, introduce something that he can do with her, or maybe she could have already some ideas,
Yeah, like the Xbox bothers you. So be like, hey, can we limit the Xbox?
But she said Xbox while he's working. So how the hell he's working and playing Xbox at the same time?
Yeah, I guess he's just, yeah.
He's multitasking.
So instead of working and washing the dishes, you're working and playing Xbox. If you can do other things while you're working, you can help around the house. Here's the thing. What I see here is, and going through what I went through, you asked for my experience. I feel like you're being given breadcrumbs, right? You threaten with divorce and you see a little bit of change and you're like, oh, I got a little bit of love. It feels better. And you just kind of go back to letting him do whatever. We're adults, right? And we shouldn't have to treat our spouses like a child. I think that in our community, we're so used to like, oh, I love me a gender role. Love a gender role. I want to cook. I want to make sure I hire somebody to clean. I'm very open about that. I tell when they meet me, they know, like, there's my cleaning lady, right? But I like gender roles. Take out the trash. You know, if the sink broke, you know, try to fix it, or you call the person to come fix it. You know, I like gender roles, but at the same time, a man shouldn't be your your child, right? I don't have to take care of you as a baby. You are a grown man.
Right.
Do things for yourself. Like you can maybe sometimes make a sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, you can maybe sometimes help with laundry. These are your kids too. We shouldn't be, you know, held responsible to do everything for the child. We can split it. When we was fucking, we did it together. You know, like this was together. So the child should be together. So although I like gender roles, I also would say there's a lot of things that can be done together. And I feel like he's just giving you breadcrumbs. And although your therapist says that it has to be a big event, you threaten divorce or maybe you should threaten separation. And when he doesn't have it and is not doing it to the extent, separate. You can't just threaten and then stay there. You really have to go.
Yeah.
So, and I found that with myself, I would say like, no, I can't stay here like this, blah, blah, blah. And then I would get a breadcrumb and stay. But I never would go through with my threat until finally I was like, I'm done. And once you're done, you're done.
And you find they change after you're done if they want to get back with you, like, or they change for a little bit and then all of a sudden they're back to their old ways.
I think, you know, it's only so many times somebody can do that to you. So I would totally understand if the father of your child, your husband, you move out, they change, you come back. Absolutely. I would never blame someone for going back. But now the second time around, you're like, now the third time around, that's enough. Enough is enough. You know, you're not going to do me dirty. Now, can people change? Absolutely. I think that people can change. I think that people can get better. Like even in my situation, but there's no way in hell I would take my ex back without him doing years of work on himself before. I can't do that with you. And we talked about it with Kanye and Kim, right? They have a spotlight and the money and millions of people are watching them on a daily basis. But we're watching a man who's mentally unstable and is losing a lot. Although we're like, oh, he's still a millionaire. You could be a billionaire now. You're a millionaire. It's very easy to lose everything. Oh, yeah. Look at all these millionaire basketball players that we see go from having millions to literally living on the streets. Oh, yeah. So it can happen to anyone. And we're seeing someone spiraling out of control. I've seen someone spiral out of control, lose everything. And even then, I cannot it has to come a point, I'm not going to enable you anymore. Right. You have to do it for you, get better for you, do what you have to do. And then I'll see where I'm at. And maybe I want to come back because you always want your family, but that doesn't mean I'm going to, it's not at my expense. Not doing it. Not a man shouldn't do that because there are a lot of women that need help. I was toxic back in the day. I needed the help that I'm getting now. The 5 years of therapy to help me not fall back into those like toxic ways. And I've evolved. You need a woman, you need a man that's willing to evolve and be better for themselves. Right. And then they can be a better person to you because those days when they don't really like you much, you're going to have to depend on the fact that they're a good person and they're healed. Well, and at all points too, like when a guy meets you, he wants to impress you. He wants to, hey, I'm doing this, I'm worth this. You know what I'm saying? Not I'm worth this, but I'm saying like, but at the end of the day, it's like, I do this. I'm valuable. I'm worth it, you know? And then all of a sudden you guys start dating and whatever. And then later on, you know, instead of like, you know, like you said, coming back that way again, right? They come broken, you know, they come like, yo, how you gonna leave me like this? Right. You know, not just, you know, and girls, you know, too, like, how you gonna, like, it's happened to me, you know, and they're like, how you gonna leave me? Like, that was your fault. You did. I'm like, I didn't do, like, you're responsible for yourself. That's it. You're responsible for yourself. And there is a sense of responsibility when you love someone. It's like, you want to help them, but how much do you want to help them? Damn. You're bending me over, fucking me with no Vaseline. Like, ouch, it hurts. At this point, you're only hurting me while getting benefits for you, and that's not fair. It should be a mutual thing for you to benefit off of a relationship. And sometimes that's what they need to wake up, those type of, you know, personalities. That's what they need to wake up, and they need to know that person, okay, well, I can't lean on them like that no more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that was that strong lean for them. Because now it's all new people in their life. Yeah. You know, in my situation, one of my exes, like, she was like that. Like, you know, always had new people in it because all the old bridges always got burned. Because once they figured out. And that's a red flag. Yeah. That is a red billboard. Yeah. Once they figured out how the person was, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna fuck this person no more. You know, even the jobs, same thing. You know what I mean? So then, you know, that transfers into, and then we're the last ones to see it. We are because we see things through rose-colored eyes. We are hopeful that'll happen. That is I'm glad you mentioned that because that's a huge red flag for anyone out there. If you, a family member, a friend, or a significant other, if you notice that they're always changing friends
and jobs,
they can't keep a job, can't keep a friend. Every time it's like something is happening, they become like so close to them, and all of a sudden that friendship is gone. And there was somebody else, and then you watch them be so cool with somebody, but then they talk shit about them and behind their back.
Exactly.
And you're like, such a red flag. They're gonna do the same exact thing to you.
Right.
And those are people that are not healed. Those are unhealed people. And I don't have time for unhealed. I just don't. You gotta come to me, Carla, 2022, 23, 24. You gotta be healed. And that doesn't mean that we don't have our own issues.
Right.
But
right. We all
I'm coming to you as a whole. You come to me as a whole, and then we can just work that. And then that way, when we have issues, we can work through them, right? Because we're healed folks, and we don't go through that. So to wrap up the show, I do have, I think I'm more of a spiritual than religious person. I feel like religion has put a damper on a lot of people, right? Because especially Christianity, there just like there is radical Islam, there is the same thing, I believe, with Christianity. I am a Christian. I do believe so. And I always go back to that in everything that I do. So I finish off the show with a Bible verse that might resonate with me, and hopefully it resonates with someone else. Again, don't have to push it on you, but if you take something from it, good. So today we're going to do Hebrews 13:8, and it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. And I bring this one up because we watch people change, and we get so angry, and we rely on other humans to make us feel safe all the time. We rely on other humans to make us feel whole. And we forget they're just that, humans. And if you truly are a believer, we're being told Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So that's the first one that I'm going to lean on. The one that's going to be faithful to me, no matter who I am, what I do, and whether it's today or tomorrow, because he's not going to be in a bad mood and just say, forget it, right? So for me, it's remember that number one is the person that's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And then from there, you can turn to a human that you know it's going to disappoint you at some point in time. So it's just that reminder, because I've been so angry. I was at the hospital, like, going on the phone, going on. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Why? I get upset at myself because I don't. I usually don't have any communication, but I was so angry. And I'm like, why am I expecting another human to be the same that they were? They changed. And it is what it is.
And you have to be careful sometimes who you let in and what you say when you're in a relationship. And the thing is, like, we don't know, because you're in a relationship, you want to be open with the other person. You want to let them know exactly what you're going through.
They can weaponize that.
Yes, they do. They have. Not everyone, but I'm saying the ones that are like that, they do. They weaponize that, and then they like, oh, well, what about this? And they always bring it up, or, it's like, it's that's not right.
They learn you.
They take notes. Yeah.
They're taking notes, and then they use it at first to like build you up. And then they take those same notes and drag you down with it. That's why your mama don't even like.
And
what did you just say?
And don't ever do, God forbid you do anything illegal or anything like that around them, or so they're always gonna hold that. Oh, well, I know about this, and you got that over there, and that person.
Like, there's so many things I know about people, including like, and I mean, I have dealt with a lot of people that have wronged me, and I have never once said I'm gonna expose them, right?
Oh, no.
And I know that with my last relationship being so public, y'all probably take it a little bit more. I don't know. You take it more like personal because you knew them. So when I talked about other relationships, whether it's with friends that I broke up with, or it's more like, it feels like I'm talking about a mythical creature because you don't know them. But with this one, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. I know things about a lot of folks that I don't feel like I need to expose them. I haven't exposed not even half of what I've been through in the past 8 months. And in my 35 years living, I can put some people, say some shit. But that doesn't make me feel any better. I'm like, I move on. You can stay in your misery. And if I were to keep that in the back of my head all the time, like, I'm going to use this as revenge, I won't be happy. And I want to be happy. Yeah. I want to be happy and at peace.
That's just putting more negative out there to come right back around.
It comes right back to you. Well, this is the episode. Thank you for coming.
Awesome. Thank you for
rescheduling your
That's
stuff.
my tag appointment.
I know, right?
We're
actually gonna come up with a pod. We already have the idea. We already have the name. for us to do like an after show.
Yes.
So it'll be a daily thing. You guys will get more of this, and you can also get it on the radio. You can listen on the Fly app. So Fly 1031.
Yep.
You get the app. You can listen to us in the morning. We do a bit called "Don't Shoot the Messenger." We're like
kind of like that was a good one right there. Maybe hey, listen to that person that wrote in. If you want us to tell your dad for you.
Oh no!
We'll do it. We'll tell your dad for you. Just don't shoot the messenger. Look, that'll be perfect.
Okay, I guess you can call us at 407-644-1031. And you don't have to live in Orlando if you want us to shoot, like give the news to someone.
Yeah.
Basically, if you want to tell someone something and you don't feel comfortable saying it, you want us to do it, we'll do it for you. So that's something we do on the air. And you can catch those on the podcast app. Just look up Fly Morning Wake Up.
Yep.
And then it'll show you there like all the previous.
And it could be good ones too. Like we had a good one that the girl called up and she said, "Hey, I want to tell my friend some news. I want you guys to do it for him." And it's that she was a match, and she was going to give him a kidney.
Yeah, she became his kidney donor.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. We're like good cop, bad cop. I'm like, he's like, I want to tell we start the morning with good vibes and good stuff, and I'm like, whose life are we ruining today? So you can catch us on the radio locally at 103.1. You can listen on the app. You can listen on the iHeartRadio app. We'll be having shortly an podcast to like recap stuff that we weren't able to touch on the air or just go even deeper with stuff.
Yeah.
Where I can cuss. Today I fucked up. I cussed on air and I'm just so glad. I'm like, go to commercial now. Go. Go. I was like, I said shit one time. And then today I said fucking. And it's only been twice and it's been 2 months. And I cussed like a sailor.
Oh, yeah.
So I know I've been doing really good. So
I told her UCF killed that team yesterday. They won by like 60-something points. Who the fuck were they playing? A high school? like oh.
It caught me off guard. I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, I don't cuss on the show. But if you hear it, you're not. I'm doing really good with that. So catch us on the air. And then don't forget, Tulum, ladies, get on the wait list. And if you're trying to launch a podcast, stop waiting. You can do it yourself through the self-paced course, or you can do the VIP day. It's on my website, carlawomares.com. And we literally will launch your podcast in one day. All you have to sit there and just give me your ideas and we put it together. So awesome. Thank you for showing up. We'll see you again next week. Probably, maybe. Okay, bye.